Storm CNIN forces Liverpool to change travel plans after flight from Bournemouth grounded. Extreme weather conditions have taken their toll on the British Isles, with winds hitting speeds of 104 miles per hour and travel plans for at least one football team thrown into disarray. Storm CNIN forces Liverpool to change travel plans after flight from Bournemouth grounded. Extreme weather conditions have taken their toll on the British Isles, with winds hitting speeds of 104 miles per hour and travel plans for at least one football team thrown into disarray. Liverpool ran out 2-1 winners, with Cody Gakpo and Darwin Núñez scoring either side of a Justin Kluivert effort for the Cherries. The Reds are back in action on Sunday, taking on Luton Town in the Premier League, but preparations ahead of that game were disturbed by the weather on Wednesday night. It was clear that it would be really storm wind, but it's really different to play football in it, Klopp said after the game. Now we drive home, long trip, but with going to the next round, it feels much better. Bournemouth manager Andoni Iraola also mentioned the wind when assessing his team's narrow defeat. He admitted the wind benefited his side in the second half, while recognizing it made the opening 45 minutes tough. We were struggling in the first half, it was really difficult with the wind, the Basque said. We couldn't kick it long and both teams were struggling to build up. Klopp jokingly offered those at the post-match press conference the chance to travel back on the team bus, saying, "We have food and television." The drive from Bournemouth to Liverpool would ordinarily take close to 5 hours, eating into the Reds' recovery time before the trip to Luton. Liverpool will take on West Ham in the next round after they stunned Premier League highflyers Arsenal at the London Stadium. The Hammers have already travelled to Anfield once this term, losing 3-1 in late September. I don't have to speak about the circumstances, because, you saw it yourselves, Klopp said of the stormy conditions. It was really difficult for both teams. First half we could have scored more goals, we didn't. Second half obviously we realized it would have been a good idea to have scored more goals, in the first half, because the wind changed the game again in the second half. We scored our second goal, a wonderful goal, and then we fought extremely hard. We had good moments, but it is all about attitude in these moments. Both teams wanted it, everybody can expect that from the home team, but I saw my team as well, how hard we really wanted it, and I am really happy about that. It was a top cup game in strange circumstances. Carabao Cup quarter-final draw in full as Liverpool and Chelsea discover opponents. Liverpool and Chelsea are among the 8 sides in the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup, but they are not joined by Manchester United or Arsenal after their defeats. Liverpool and Chelsea have both landed home ties against Premier League opposition in the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup after they emerged victorious in the last 16 on Wednesday night. Darwin Núñez struck a sublime winner for the Reds on the south coast as they saw off Bournemouth 2-1. With Cody Gakpo opening the scoring at the Vitality Stadium before Justin Kluivert levelled for the Cherries. Jurgen Klopp's side will now host West Ham in the last 8, who saw off Arsenal. Chelsea beat Championship Blackburn thanks to strikes from Benoit Badiashile and Raheem Sterling, and face Newcastle in the quarter-finals after their victory over hapless Manchester United. Declan Rice had a miserable return to the London Stadium as West Ham beat the Gunners 3-1. A Ben White own goal got the ball running for the Hammers before Mohamed Kudus and Jared Bowen got on the scoresheet. Martin Odegaard added a late consolation for Mikel Arteta's side. Meanwhile, the pressure mounted on Erik ten Hag at Old Trafford after United were beaten 3-0 by Newcastle on home soil. Miguel Almiron and Joe Willock scored either side of a first professional goal for youngster Lewis Hall to seal the Magpies' passage into the last 8. Also in the quarter-finals are Fulham, who beat Ipswich 3-1 at Portman Road, and Everton, who comfortably saw off Burnley 3-0 at Goodison Park. They're joined by Middlesbrough, who won a pulsating tie at Exeter 3-2 on Tuesday night, and Port Vale, who won 1-0 at Mansfield. The Cottagers travel to Everton in the last 8, while third-tier Vale will be dreaming of a semi-final berth as they were paired with Championship Middlesbrough. Carabao Cup quarter-final draw. Everton vs Fulham. Chelsea vs Newcastle United. Port Vale vs Middlesbrough. Liverpool vs West Ham. Jurgen Klopp couldn't hide his instant reaction to discovering Man Utd's latest thrashing. Jurgen Klopp cut a bewildered figure when told the result between Manchester United and Newcastle as the Red Devils crashed out of the Carabao Cup in the last 16. Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp was left baffled after finding out that Newcastle knocked Manchester United out of the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. Eddie Howe's side stunned Old Trafford as goals from Miguel Almiron, Lewis Hall and Joe Willock earned the Magpies a 3-0 win in front of over 7,000 travelling supporters. United were booed off following the full-time whistle as they suffered their second successive defeat without scoring a goal. Meanwhile, Liverpool also booked their place in the quarter-final as they scraped past Bournemouth, with Cody Gakpo and Darwin Núñez scoring for the Reds. During Klopp's post-match press conference, he was informed of Newcastle beating Manchester United and his reaction was priceless. Klopp cut a bewildered figure before appearing to say, "Oh okay," and then he clenched his teeth together. United have made a difficult start to the campaign and have now lost 8 matches in all competitions already, with 5 of those defeats coming in the Premier League. As for his own side's performance, the Liverpool boss was pleased with what he saw. He said, "We should have scored more in the first half when the wind was with us. We scored a wonderful goal in the second half, the boys fought really hard, but the weather, was brutal. 1 yard on the pitch it was outrageous but we got through. We can't go long because we know they'll come back at us so we have to try to play from the back, it's risky but we have to. The goal we conceded was a set piece and I don't know why Justin Kluivert, was unmarked. Games like this are super tough for both teams and it's important that you win. There are millions of ways to win a football game and we found one. It's not always about learning, sometimes you just have to get through and we did." Meanwhile, Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola delivered his reaction and praised his side for their performance. He said, "We cannot ask for much more from the players, I think we played really well. In the second half we put a lot of pressure on them but it's an amazing goal from Darwin Núñez. We kept pushing and had chances but we were not clinical enough," Iraola continued. "The win today was a key factor. We struggled in the first half and they struggled in the second. It was difficult for both teams and I think it mattered a lot. Liverpool didn't want to kick it long in the second half and we wanted to use set pieces. But they are the ones who scored the second goal and we have to congratulate them. We played well today. It's a cup competition and you don't want to go out. In the second half we put a lot of pressure on them but it's an amazing goal from Darwin Núñez. We kept pushing and had chances but we were not clinical enough," Iraola continued. "The win today was a key factor. We struggled in the first half and they struggled in the second. It was difficult for both teams and I think it mattered a lot. Liverpool didn't want to kick it long in the second half and we wanted to use set pieces, but they are the ones who scored the second goal and we have to congratulate them. We played well today. It's a cup competition and you don't want to go out.